Hey guys, it's Cerulean Jake bringing to you a quick little update on the VGC Pals Draft League Season 3. I have a couple things I want to get to. First, I want to tackle the standings of the league as we head into the final 2 weeks of the Draft League. And I also want to talk about some big shakeups that happened to, well, the league as a whole, but affecting our team specifically. So, we're going to get to that very soon. Make sure you stick around if you want to hear all those huge shakeups. Let's go ahead and jump right into the standings. So, taking a look at things, there are 2 conferences, and I am in the blue conference. So, let's tackle that first, since that's the one that you've been seeing this whole season. As you may well know, given my record as of this point, I am in first place. I am the top of the blue conference, and going towards playoffs with our final 2 weeks, I'm pretty well looking to keep it. If I'm being honest, I think we're pretty well locked, but just in case, let's go ahead and do a little bit of math. I know, we all hate math, but don't worry, I did it for you. So, as it stands, there are 2 matches remaining for all of us. I am in first place with 14 points. Now, what does that mean? Really quick little reminder, since you should already know. 0 points is rewarded if you are 2-0'd by your opponent. If you manage to take a game off of your opponent, but you still lose the set, then you get 1 point. If you win the set, but you dropped a game, then you get 2 points. And if you win 2-0, you get 3. Because of our score, we have 14 victory points. Now, taking a look at the rest of the league, More Better and the San Diego Superiors are tied for second place for 11 points. Now, technically More Better is ahead because they have 1 point of differential, but for all intents and purposes, that is very minuscule of a lead, so realistically, these 2 are tied. So, speaking for More Better and the San Diego Superiors, let's talk about a worst case scenario for me. Suppose one of these 2 teams were to 2-0 their opponents. If they 2-0 both weeks, they would gain 3 points both weeks. So, 3 points the first week, raising them to 14 points, and then 3 points the next, raising them to 17. With that in mind, that would be their final score. What is my possible scoreline? I'm already 14 points. So, in my next week, I am facing Pocket Legacy in the Niagara Love Disc. Now, he may not be doing super well, but that doesn't mean I can sleep on him. I need to try my best and try to win this. So, let's again go with a worst case scenario. Suppose he comes up with something I'm not expecting, or I just can't beat some combo of his, whatever the case may be, and he 2-0s me. I get 0 points and I remain at 14 points. This would mean I am now tied with those in second place, or well, one of them if they got a 2-0. And I am now needing a 2-0 in my next week to guarantee that I get first place. Well, fortunately for us, my final week of the draft has already forfeited. It was against Zardichar of the Opelousas Oshawotts, and Zardy has decided that the schedule is just too packed. Can't do it. So I have, by default, won my final week of this league. I will gain 3 points as well as 8 points of differential. And because my differential is already so high, it would be extremely difficult for either More Better or San Diego Superiors, even if they go on a 2-0 record against both of their weeks, to surpass my differential. So, realistically speaking, I have locked first place because I would say that the odds are that I can at least take a game off of the Niagara Love Disc is pretty high. If we give all of the scenarios an equal chance, I have a 75% chance of, at minimum, taking a game off of Niagara Love Disc. It's only the 25% world where he 2-0s me. So with that in mind, while I don't want to speak too soon, we are pretty well locked for first place. Now, why is this such a big deal? And why am I even bothering to talk about Red Conference here? Well, when it comes to playoffs, you are matched inversely in the quarterfinals to the other conference. So, first through fourth place in the blue conference will fight fourth through first place in the red conference. So, we're trying to lock in that fourth place slot. So let's take a look at who those are. Taking a look over at the red conference, we have Offense Slop pretty much locking in first place. I guess there, of course, is a world where he could lose it, but I mean, it's essentially the same world that either More Better or San Diego Superiors passed me, so pretty unlikely, I would say. Next up is Grandma's Bingo Squad. Now, with Grandma's Bingo Squad, it's pretty cool to see them here in second place. Why? Well, because they're led by Poison. You may recognize that name. Poison57 is a friend of mine. I actually convinced him to join this league, and he's been having a grand time ever since he did. So it's really cool to see that the both of us in different conferences are doing so well. Realistically, the only cooler thing to see would be both of us getting first place, but when you have Ret King in your conference, I'm going to be honest, it's no shame coming in second. Following that up, third and fourth place are a little, well, not so clear, if we're being honest. Currently, the Widefield Wailords are the best possible lock for third place. They have 10 points compared to the next highest being 8. And yes, the graph I'm showing you here does have them mixed up incorrectly. Unfortunately, there's some problems with the website, so it doesn't always organize it properly based on victory points. Don't worry about that. As it stands, it is the Golden Go Warriors in fourth place because we go by victory points. And that is followed by the Sacramento Slagoos, led by Mollusk, and then finally the Texas Tyrannotars, led by Sloan. So, the Widefield Wailords do have a pretty commanding lead, and they're not locked in for third place, but it's pretty solidly in their favor. Everyone else, on the other hand, it's all 1 to 2 point differences fighting for that fourth place slot. So realistically speaking, I can't tell you who we're going to be facing. You know, initially, when I was predicting who was going to be in this league and who was going to come in what place, I was thinking that I was either going to be fighting my friend Poison or Clay Xavier in that fourth spot. That's the Golden Go Warriors, to clarify. And while that is looking solid for Clay right now, the truth of the matter is, it could be any of these people. I mean, the Widefield Wailords could go on a losing streak, and they could end up down in fourth place. It could be the Sacramento Slagoos. After all, Mollusk is a really good player, and though he does have Ret King still in his schedule, that doesn't mean that he's doomed to lose. As well as both these other two teams, just all of these teams are very competitive, and I cannot say for sure who we are going to be facing. It's a very tight race. And the most interesting part about this race is that in the final week, all 4 of these teams are facing each other. The Widefield Wailords will be facing the Texas Tyrannotars in the final week, and the Sacramento Slagoos will be facing the Golden Go Warriors. So, we cannot say who is going to be third and fourth place until we finish this regular season off. There is nothing locked in just yet. It's very exciting, and I'm super happy to see that all the way through this league, it's been very competitive. I've been having a really fun time. I'm glad that Poison's been having a fun time, and for everyone else, hope they have been too. Now, moving things along, I need to talk about my team. So, taking a look at my team, it's pretty solid, but it has some weaknesses. One key weakness that I have been dealing with repeatedly is my weakness to rock type. Now, the thing about rock types is that offensively speaking, they are very strong, but defensively, not so much. I do have plenty of Pokemon that can hit rock types for super effective, just that I don't have a whole lot of ways to resist it. And I'm not gonna be able to change that realistically. I could if I really wanted to, but I want to add something to this team that offers me a lot of good. So taking a look at it, if we look at our underperforming members, we need to talk about two members specifically. The first one is Mamoswine. For a 12-pointer, you would expect this guy to be performing decently well, and it's been a little under par, I must say. Unfortunately, the reality about Mamoswine is that it seems on paper that this is a really good Pokemon. After all, he has a great attack stat on par with, I believe, Garchomp. But all the rest of his stats just aren't there, and his typing is piss poor when it comes to defenses. So I just don't think that I can do this anymore. Your speed isn't where it needs to be to take advantage of those offenses. You're not bulky enough to live all that many hits. I can't do it anymore, Mamoswine. I'm sorry. You were a decent pick while I had you, but I need something better. So initially, I dropped Mamoswine, and I announced that I was picking up Hisuian Samurott. Now, to give a brief overview on what Hisuian Samurott would do for the team. First things first, I do have a little bit of a ghost weakness. I have one immunity and then no other resists, so it's really nice to have a dark type that can come in and resist a ghost type. Pretty cool, not the main purpose of Samurott. The primary purpose is I wanted somebody who could fill in for Primarina's role of being a water type attacker. Because as it stands, Primarina being my only water puts a lot of stress on her to perform. And I just can't have that. Primarina is an amazing Pokemon, but when it constantly has a target on its back, it is unable to perform quite as well. We've been pretty lucky, and it's been pretty cool to have Primarina perform as well as she has thus far, but I just need a little more water power. But as you can tell by the way I worded things, that ultimately was not the decision we made. Hisuian Samurott would have been a good Pokemon, and I was perfectly happy to pick it up. But right after I announced it, I decided to scroll up in the transactions Discord, and I read some transactions that I had not seen. The team More Better, led by Fair, decided to drop Dragonite. I don't know why he decided to do that. I understand that he has never brought it to a game, but seriously, you're dropping Dragonite? Alright, that's it. I'm deleting my message and I'm reconsidering. Thankfully, I haven't done anything on Drafteon yet, so I get to do this. I deleted my message. I looked at my points and I realized it doesn't matter if I drop Mamoswine, I don't have any draft points left over, so I just can't get Dragonite. And that's where our other underperforming member comes in. Vanillix has actually been a little better than Mamo, in my opinion. And that's to say that in the battle that it showed up, it was kind of crucial for the victory. The few battles that Mamoswine has shown up to, it has shown up more often, but it hasn't felt as good as Vanillix did in that match versus Grizz. Now, that said, Vanillix doesn't show up to very many matches, unfortunately. So the truth of the matter is I just don't think that it really has a place on the team anymore. If I really want to use ice type moves, I mean, Primarina has some, Megalopony has the triple axle. I can find a way to fit ice type moves on this team, especially with those two gone. I now have enough points to pick up Dragonite, and he can learn some ice type moves if need be. So welcome to the team, Dragonite. You are going to be filling that role of completing my Fairy, Dragon, and Steel Core. And that's going to be awesome for us defensively speaking, and all around just an absolute powerhouse of a Pokemon. But that said, we now have 4 points left over as well as an open slot on the team. So, who are we picking up? It'd be an absolute waste to just leave the slot open and not spend the points, so it's got to be somebody, right? Well, yes, actually. There's another Pokemon that has been on the draft board for a little while now, thanks to other teams dropping him. And I've decided that, you know what? You may not be a very strong Pokemon, but you do offer something to my team. So, welcome to the team, Jolteon. Jolteon, like I said, is not a very strong Pokemon. It does not hit super hard. However, the one thing that it does do for me is that it offers a base speed of 130 without needing to Mega Evolve. My next fastest Pokemon is Serperior, who is a base 113, which at times just isn't cutting it. So when my Mega Evolutions are either not fast enough or they are just not the Pokemon that I need, in that case, Jolteon can come to the battle. It has base 130 speed to help me outspeed different threats, and if something is still faster than it, I can always Choice Scarp it and run Electro Web to slow the opponent down, letting my bigger threats outspeed and deal the damage. Other than that, Jolteon does have a couple other things that it can do, but it's not amazingly powerful. If we don't end up running this through the rest of the league, then I wouldn't be surprised, but he's here just in case I need him. And with that, this is the end of the time for transactions. We are no longer able to make any trades. This is our team going into playoffs. And we're starting things off with our week 5, not playoffs just yet, the regular season. I said week 5, I meant week 6. We're starting things off in week 6 of the regular season still with this team against Pocket Legacy. Watch out, Niagara Lovedis, because this is a powerful team.